What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Reservoir Dogs Bloody Days. It's a well-known fact that stuff based on movies can be really hit and miss. Once your film is a huge success, sometimes they'll want to turn it into a book or write an extended graphic novel about the background. Maybe if you're really lucky, they might turn it into a video game. For the most part, these projects turn out to be really bad, and this is no exception. What we have here is seriously one of the worst things I've ever played in my life. Reservoir Dogs was a low-budget indie flick made in 1992 by now legendary director Quentin Tarantino. The story revolved around a group of gangsters dealing with the consequences of a job gone wrong while also trying to figure out who among them is secretly a cop. It was a groundbreaking movie for many reasons, but one of the biggest aspects is that they chose to not actually show the shootout that caused the heist to go bad. Watching the characters talk and interact was more important than random violence. The question is, how do you turn that into a video game? Well, I guess you could just turn it into a dumb top-down shooter. I really wish I was joking about this, and yet sadly, this is what they chose to make. We play as the dogs, carrying out missions around town that involve escaping law enforcement, robbing banks, and doing our best not to die in the process. On its own, this could have been a decent concept, but it's utterly ruined by the time rewind mechanic. There are up to 3 people on our team at once, and we control them all simultaneously. Essentially what you do is run around fighting the good guys for 30 seconds and then rewind back to the beginning of that shootout to control the next character. You'll then be walking next to the earlier version of yourself and see him doing all the exact same actions you just had him do. Here is why I completely hated this system though. For some crazy reason, the computer-controlled enemies don't always behave the same way when you rewind time. If I blast 5 police officers perfectly in the head and then jump backwards a half minute in time, why would they behave differently? Isn't this still the same timeline I was already in? I mean, seriously, why would you do this? Look at my hero here. He's just shooting at walls and getting killed because they moved a different direction. This totally breaks the game in my opinion because the key feature needed to win fights is now impossible to use. When there are cops surrounding you in a building, you're supposed to be able to split up and strategically eliminate all threats and get away with the money. It never functions that smoothly though. Instead, you're stuck following around your own stupid robot self because if any of them dies, you have to restart. There are some checkpoints that autosave right before an ambush, so you get locked into trying to rewind time and land all flawless kills before anyone gets hit, while also hoping that each person's timeline stays the same. For a majority of Reservoir Dogs, I tried to play with a single character to avoid this sloppy system, but that still didn't work very often. Even if I slayed 100% of my foes, I'd still have to rewind to the beginning of the battle to control my teammates, and when everything played back, sometimes my earlier self would die randomly, causing a game over. To be honest, I'd probably be willing to deal with this mess a little bit more if there was at least a story, but they didn't even bother to include any dialogue. The only lines you see in the game are just pointless movie quotes lazily thrown in to remind you that this is based on something that's actually awesome. Each of the 18 missions are purely identical, just on different maps. You pick a squad, shoot your way into a place, pick up some money, and then deal with the cops on the way out. This is it. There's no variety, there's no cutscenes, there's no reason to care. What was obviously done here is that someone managed to get permission to make an official Reservoir Dogs title, and they threw this together knowing that some fans would purchase it by accident. That being said, there is something that Bloody Days does well, and I want to give them credit for this. The art style is pretty cool. The cartoonish aesthetic makes it feel like we're exploring a retro noir comic book. The other thing I kinda liked is that the aiming is great overall. If I want something dead, I can easily and quickly nail it before they have a chance to react, but this also sadly highlights that the AI is awful. Why would all these trained police officers just walk in straight lines to be shot after seeing hundreds of their friends die? Nothing about this project has any logic to it, and that it was even created is simply baffling. Okay, so we've heard a lot of bad and some good, but let's over to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Reservoir Dogs Bloody Days a 3 out of 10. Quentin Tarantino has always been a hero of mine, and his movies are truly inspiring, and yet this was allowed to be made with his masterpiece's name on it. This game is such a dumpster fire that it genuinely makes me like the movie less, because now all I can imagine is this trash rewind time mechanic while I'm trying to enjoy it. You know what? Hold on just a second, I gotta take care of something. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.